half of the closure already sewn down, and here I am starting to sew the closure on. This is a 4x4 Swiss brown lace closure, and these closures are very good for beginners because they are more durable. And I feel like you could kind of make a few mistakes with these and still be able to save your closures versus with other ones. If you make a mistake, it'll probably be done, but these are more beginner friendly, so I'm using this 4x4 Swiss lace brown closure. And this is just the same basic sewing technique that I used to make all my wigs by hand. Just doing the loop method and tying a knot, loop, tie, loop, tie. But make sure you're basically creating a knot around the track or the lace when you're doing your loop tie method. And you can make a wig sitting down. All you need is a mannequin head, so you don't need a wig stand. You don't need one of those wig head stands for the table. You literally just need whatever mannequin head that you're going to be using. And if you are or more of the I can afford this side, you can definitely get the styrofoam head and start with those. And those are probably like $3 in the beauty supply store, and you could probably even find them for free at certain places. Like, so if you have to start with a styrofoam head, get the styrofoam head, and that's all you need in the rest of your materials. You don't need all the fancy things that a lot of people use to make wigs to get a great result. As you can see here, all I'm using is the mannequin head, some T-pins, which I really don't need, but I have the luxury to use those. Thank you. I have gotten very far in my career. And yeah, so I'm just showing you guys that you really don't need all the extra necessities to get the job done. So if you are a person that doesn't have the money, just invest in your hair, your thread, your mesh or dome cap, and get you a mannequin head that fits your head. And if you can't afford the good ones, just get you a styrofoam head. My first wig I ever made was made with on a styrofoam head, and when I tell you, it came out trash, but it was still wearable. And then I took it apart and put it back together using the same styrofoam head, but it came out better because I sewed better. And at this point right here, I'm just starting off with the first bundle, which is the 18-inch straight. This hair is provided by me. I love the hair so much. I've been working with it for over a year. This vendor is amazing, and I'm so glad that I ran into her. And let me tell you guys a manifestation story that happened to me. So this is not my original vendor. My original vendor was that I started off my business with was pretty good, decent. It did what it needed to do. But I started having complaints about the ends of the hair being too thin and certain stuff. Like, it was easier to break the integrity of that hair, I feel like, but with this hair it can withstand a lot more, which shows that the quality is a little bit more higher. And the prices changed once the pandemic hit on the other vendor. So I was basically without a vendor, you guys, and I was just going through it like God, asking the highest to please send me a vendor that I could use. The universe, please send me a vendor. And Lord and behold, I found my vendor. Started off with her DMing me on Facebook, messaging me on Facebook. And keep in mind, at the time, my Facebook was not popping at all. I probably had less than 100 followers, and I was just starting to join groups on Facebook that involved things like hair bundles, vendors, and everything. So and at that point, I probably was reaching out to different vendors to try to find my main one that I wanted, because at this point I knew what I needed. I wanted a vendor that had good prices, full bundles, and I wanted the hair to be full from the tip to the bottom, because certain vendors cut their hair certain ways. So I finally got a DM from this vendor and I was talking to her back and forth, but Lord and behold, I stopped replying. Life happens, you stop replying, life goes on. And maybe like a couple of days later or maybe a week later, I get a follow and message on Instagram from the same vendor. So she literally stalked me from Facebook to Instagram, and I'm so grateful for that till this day because the hair is amazing. And you can see it in all my videos. The hair is amazing. You can break the integrity of the hair and still wear it. I've broken the integrity on a bundle before and it was still able to be used because of the way they make their bundles. The quality is there. How many times have you broken the integrity of your hair and had to throw it away because it was just shit and you couldn't do nothing with it? That wasn't the case with this vendor, so this is why I'm so excited about this vendor. And I say my hair is very beginner friendly because you can still fuck it up and still wear it, which you can't do with a lot of hair these days. And I use more than one vendor, and the same thing I believe happened with my second vendor that I have now. They found me on Facebook. We was talking on Facebook a lot, and they started stalking me on Facebook and Instagram. I think that was the case. Well, I think that was probably just the case with my first one, but I'm just so grateful for, just put the things. That just shows when you put things into the universe and you have pure intentions, the universe will answer, but it doesn't always happen on your timing. It just happens in divine timing, I guess is what they call it. But shout out to my vendor, girl. Love you so much, Cherry. Love you so much. Love you so much, Cherry. And your hair quality is amazing. And some of my clients who I've started selling this hair to have told me that the hair is some of the best hair that they've had. And you know how black girls feel about their hair, and when people say, oh, this is some of the best hair that I've had, say no more. And like I said, I'm just doing the same loop tie method, and I believe we are still on the first bundle. I just had to go off on that story about how if things are meant for you, you guys, they will happen. And I am a walking testimony to that every day. And yeah, so I'm just sitting here doing a loop tie method, and this is still the first bundle, y'all. And I'm just gonna keep going across until I get to a space where I'm ready to flip the track. Every wig that I do is made different. I literally just listen to the hair and it tells me what direction it goes in. See, look, it's telling me to flip it. Usually I could have went straight and ran out of hair, but no, I decided to flip it right there because that's where in my mind I feel it best fits, and where, like I said, the track is telling me that's where it wants to be placed. None of the wigs that I make are made exactly 100% the same, and I guess that's a good thing because there are a million and one ways to make a wig and you don't always have to follow the same pattern. So that just shows that I'm more like a gecko. I could change and shape forms of how I do things, but I still get the great quality results. And at the end, when you're closing out your track, you guys, make sure you sew it down over it a couple of times so there's no hanging threads or anything, no hanging pieces hanging. I just hate that. And tie your knot and cut it. And this is the first bundle sewed on, and as you can see, without even being rolled up, it's super thick. The ends are great quality. The shine is there, the natural luster. And I'm just showing you guys the 16-inch bundle. And as you can see, the ends are super full to the end. And I just wanted to show you guys right here that I just noticed that a lot of vendors do not do. My bundles are double wefted already. So that means that the vendors takes two different wefts and sew them together to make one bundle. And I'm showing you guys right there that the weft was kind of splitting. So if you wanted to, you can go in and split the track and it'll make more hair. You can go in and split the track and it'll make more hair. And not all hair companies provide bundles like this. Some people will literally give you one single track, wefted track. But when they make when they take two bundles, it's basically two bundles put into one to make it more full. And this is why my ends and stuff come out more fuller. This is why in the last video, you guys, I showed y'all how I broke the integrity. I will link the video of me making my bang unit. I broke the integrity of the green brown bundle, and there was shedding everywhere, but the hair is still full. And this is why, because my vendor, which is amazing, uses two tracks to make one bundle. Is double wefted. So when you are looking for a vendor, if you're new to selling hair, make sure you ask the vendor, hey, is your bundles double wefted? Because if they're not, they're just going to be giving you a single wefted bundle, and that means it's not going to be as full, and it probably won't last as long, because once the hair starts to shed, it won't be as full. But versus my hair, when my hair starts to shed, you get shedding. Every hair sheds, of course, but it's all about the fullness, because like I said, you can shed as much as you want, but as long as the fullness is still there, you're good. It's only a problem. I feel like shedding only becomes a problem when one is really, really excess, to where, like, if you do any little move, you got a clump of hair coming out. And two, when it starts to shed so much that your install is looking thinner than a rockhead, thinner than a light post, stuff like that. I just like to loop the thread, the needle through the thread, which will create a knot around the track initially. Then I'm just gonna start doing a loop tie method all over again until I get ready to close that bundle out. And this is the second bundle, and I made this unit with 2.5 bundles, no cap. 20 inch, 18 inch, and a 16 inch bundle, and a closure of 16 inches as well. And that's why I say I really love the quality of my hair, because you can get away without even using the full 3 bundles and still get nice full quality results. Because sometimes when you just use 2 bundles or 2.5 bundles, the hair may not look as full. But with me, it came out full looking. It's not too heavy on the neck. A lot of women who wear wigs hate having all their hair on their neck because it get hot. And that's why I like to use these mesh caps as well, because they have more breathability. And look at me eating a piece of cake. Happy birthday, Miss Pam. Miss Pam, I forgot. One of my grandmother's best friends had a birthday, and she sent me some cake and some pasta, which was really good. So shout out to y'all. And this is the third bundle, and I did cut the track in half, so half of the bundle is put up. So I cut it, and I'm gonna sew it single wefted, because I always sew single wefted on the third bundle to get more flat results towards the top of the head, because you don't want to be lumpy dumpty set on the wall. And here I am showing you guys how I'm gonna take the track all the way to here. Wait, no, I'm showing you guys how I took the track there, then I cut it again, and I started to sew it from there to there, and then I'm showing you guys how I'm gonna sew the rest of the track on without actually showing you guys, because I have 1,000,001 videos of me making wigs. Well, not even 1,000,001, but a lot of the videos become repetitive, and I know we have the attention span of goldfish, so I like to switch it up for you guys and keep you entertained. And now I'm just using that closing track to sew it down. If you don't do this step, I find a lot of people do not do this step. Make sure you take a piece of track and close out your full wig with a track that's going to separate your bundles from your closure, and it's going to be shaped all the way around the closure, if that makes sense. And this is going to give you a seamless install when it comes to molding and styling your hair, because everything will be flat from that point on, because you have this barrier, which is a track between the rest of the flipped over bundles versus this one, which is a single track in the shape of the closure. that's, I don't know how to explain it, y'all, but it makes sense. So when you do it, just when you make a wig, just make sure you have a single track that you cut in the shape of the way the closure of the frontal is going, and make sure you sew it around the perimeter of that, and that's going to play a big part in the results of your wig. And that is how I construct my units, you guys. And do not forget to cut out the excess cap that's on the inside. But please be careful when doing so, because you can cut the threads of your wig and you don't want to have to start over. And I just want to say, you guys, I love this wig the way it came out. It came out exactly how I had it imagined in my head. And right here, I'm just taking some bleach and developer 40 volume with some blue bleach by Quick Bloom, and just putting it all over the ends of the hair to do an ombre effect. And I did use a Walmart not trash bag, but a Walmart grocery bag to process my hair instead of using foil. So like I said, if you are someone who can't afford to buy foil, everybody has plastic bags. There's plastic bags flying around outside. If you have to go outside to get a plastic bag to make sure your hair is processed right, go outside and get the fucking plastic bag. We don't have pride over here. We're trying to look good. So if you are at that point where you don't even have foil or plastic, you can literally go outside and find plastic on the ground. But here I am showing you guys the three colors that I use. I use the Temptation Black, Jet Black by Kiss, the red by Ruby Roo, and the other red by Kiss. But this is so old because you can see that they changed their packaging. And this is the results, you guys, of the hair after I shampooed, conditioned it, combed it out with a hot comb. And this is just like it pressed without a flat iron pressing it. And here, you guys, I have most of the hair already pin curled. This is like wedding style hair, you guys. Like, this is what the women be getting done to their hair for their wedding. So this is wedding style curls, basically. And I'm just using the flat iron to get them. And this is my Conair flat iron. I got this when I was in high school, you guys. I've been out of high school for about 7 years. So these flat irons really do work. Conair has some of the best drugstore hot tools, if not the best. Conair has the best drugstore hot tools on the market. And as you can see, these curls is just giving my testimony all type of realness, because you can see how beautiful these curls are coming out. And this flat iron is so old. It has the twist dial on it, y'all, and it goes up to 25. That's how you know this flat iron is old. So I'm guessing the 25 is 450. And I'm just going and doing the barrel curl method, just curling it away from the face, clicking and clacking, open and close, like how you would do with a Marcel, and just curling the hair. And then I pin it up so it can dry, so the heat can cool properly. And when you pin your curls up and let them cool that way in a curl shape, it does make your curl last longer. And this is the last curl that I'm pinning up. So if you want long lasting curls, pin curl your hair and use a lot of freaking hairspray. Right here, I'm just showing you guys the results of the pin curl. So if you are getting married and need your hair done, hit me up. And as you can see, I'm taking the curls down now, and I let the curls sit up in the pins for about maybe 2.5 hours till they fully cool. And as you can see, the results are super beautiful. The color is amazing, super bright. It looks really good. The hair took the bleach and developer amazing. And that's another thing, every hair doesn't color well either, so that's a good thing about my hair as well. Every hair doesn't take color well. So the color job was beautiful. And here I'm just taking some oil sheen, not even oil sheen, some serum spritz that you will use to, for like a heat protected shine and stuff. I'm just using that to pull the curls apart. And that is the only way that I'll be styling them, is just to take them apart, and so they could create more volume, so your curls will be more voluminous if you just pull them apart. And I'm just doing it like that instead of combing them apart, because I want this to, like I said, I want the curls to last long. Your curls last longer when you leave them whole and not comb them out. So you'll probably be looking at hour time difference of your hair falling. So once your hair falls with the curls full, they'll still be pretty, versus them falling after you didn't already combed out. They won't last long at all. So I prefer to do long lasting curls like this, and the results are still pretty. I know a lot of girls have gotten away from Shirley Temple looking curls, but I like those types of curls. Like, they last longer, and once your hair starts to fall into the original way y'all like to do your hair now, it'll be even better because the hair had been and lasted a couple hours. So yeah, start off with Shirley Temple. Let Shirley Temple fall into those brushed out curls that y'all like. And by the time you get home, your hair still gonna be looking decent. And it depends on where you stay too, you guys, because if the weather isn't good, the curls won't last. Humidity hates styled hair. I'm just say that. And this wig was inspired by the packaging of BBS Cosmetics. I will leave the unboxing video that I did on their products below, but this unit was inspired by their packaging, and I'm going to be giving it to the owner, and she doesn't even know it. So I hope she loves it, and like I love it, because it came out cute. And this is the final results, you guys. I hope you love it. Remember to stay unique and love your individuality, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.